Welcome to the Shabby Fabrics at Home Studio. My name is Chase and I am so glad you're joining me today. Today we will make this lovely crepe paper fall bouquet. And this is made with not just your ordinary paper. The crepe paper is a craft paper that just forms these delicate elements to this so easily, and it stays its firm shape. These aren't soft like your normal paper. It is firm and it holds so beautifully, and it's just great to work with. It's my new favorite material, and I know this will just look lovely in your home. We are putting this in a kit for you with the coordinated crepe paper colors that will be delivered right to your doorstep, and a few add-ons that will just make your life so much easier that you will want to purchase, that I will go into detail with as we make it. And also, this pattern will be sold separately for those of you wanting to make multiple of these bouquets. This is a great gift to maybe give as a housewarming gift. I think they would truly love that. So we will get started today by first taking our crepe paper. And when you start with your crepe paper, you want to apply a just slight stretch to it because it holds a lot of firmness to it, and you want to be able to get the most out of your crepe paper. And then we're going to cut all of our shapes using our templates here. Your pattern will include all of the different cuts you need to make, all the petal sizes, shapes to make it. We'll make it easy for you, but we're going to use our new acrylic rose petal shape. You guys love the leaves and the other petal set so much that we made this into a rose petal just to make it so much easier for you. You then take one of your templates that you are using, and you're going to cut a piece of crepe paper. This is the easiest technique to do it. I've tried many, and you place your template on the crepe paper, and you're going to cut a strip that aligns to the right size with whatever template you are using. You just simply lay it on the crepe paper, and we're going to make cuts just right above the template here. And we're going to cut out 5 of these large ones, and you just continue to stack them onto each other of however many you are needing. You can also fold it into an accordion and do it that way, but this way is also another alternative. They work just the same. And we'll just do one more cut here so you can see. You just lay it straight and cut the paper that measures. Now what we're going to do is we take our Karen K. Buckley scissors. These ones are my favorite because they just make the perfect cuts for these small details. And you follow the template around the paper here and create the shape. And these acrylic templates are so nice because they hold that nice firm shape. If you were using paper or other material, it tends to warp over time and loses its shape. So this one guarantees a perfect cut each time. You just simply follow it. And with that technique, you're then able to create multiple petals all at once. So you're not cutting out several different ones each time. Once you have all of your leaves cut out, your petals cut out, and also a few different strip sizes that some of these flowers will require. Like I said, your pattern will have all the details. You're going to set it all aside, and we will start by making our rose flower. This bouquet here has 2 different flowers. It has the roses and also the chrysanthemums. They are different colors, but it is the same technique every single time. So for your gold rose, like I said, they are all the same, just different colors. We will start with cutting all of our petals out, setting them aside, and we will start with our 5 small petals here. And we're going to then curl them. And how we do this is we're going to take one of the 5 small petals and we're going to curl in both sides here. And you just gently pull out. This acrylic template doubles as a curling tool and a template. No need to spend money on another tool that helps you with this. And you can take the petal and fold it inwards to create more of this lovely petal shape. You're going to do this method with one of the 5 petal shapes. For the rest of the 5 small petals, you're going to curl it slightly different. You again take your curling template and you are going to curl one side of this inward. With the other side, you're going to take it and curl it the opposite direction to create this shape with one curling inwards this direction and one curling upwards. You do that with the remaining 4 small petals. For your 5 medium and large petals, We're going to do the same technique as we did with the first petal where you're curling both sides inward. And once you have all of your petals curled, we're going to then take each petal and we're going to leave that first small one aside that has both turned in. We'll take our others, and then we're taking our thumbs here and just creating a little bit of a space here for them to attach to our base. Just take your thumb and create just a little cup or dip in the petal with all of these here. And then with our 5 medium and 5 large petals, we're going to do it a different way. So we have each side here curled inwards like we did with our first small one here, but we're going to flip it over and turn our petal outwards and create a little dip here. So then your shape is now facing this way. So we'll do the same with this one here, just outwards. So that way it makes the shape of, think about when you have your rose petal, you have your certain petals facing outwards as they grow. So again, flip it to create that outwards curl, and flip this one as well. And lastly, we will do it with this one just to create that little scoop here. Oh, I think that one was already complete. So once you have all of those scooped in the right direction, we then will start applying them to our base with this foam ball. We are including your foam balls in the kit as well to help you form these petals. And I am going to take one of our floral wire stems. You will have 2 different sizes. This is the thicker size, and we will put it into the foam ball here and just have it stay in place like so. We're then going to take our small tan petal that we formed to begin with, and we're going to take some hot glue and just apply a thin line in that scoop and place it over the styrofoam ball. With the top portion of this petal here, it's going to create a little bit of a triangle shape. We will apply some hot glue to the top here, just so it stays put with this little triangle shape. You can apply more glue to the sides here and just wrap it around the sides of the styrofoam ball with the little triangle. With the end of the petal here, we can take it and glue it upwards so that way we don't have just the bottom part hanging off. It hides it just a little bit, and it will look just like this. From here, we're going to take our remaining 4 small petals. This is where it has the curve inwards and outwards here. And we will then apply glue to the dip again. But with this outward curve, we're going to make sure that is placed on the side here, with the inward curve just nestled around your little triangle that you made here. Going to take another small petal, again in the just dip here, and we will then place it just slightly overlapping on the other side of that dip, with again the outward side curled and the inward side wrapped around to this side. And we just continue layering these in that motion to create the little bud that you see in the middle of the rose with the petal layers. So we have another one here, this one. If you are doing these steps here and you feel like you want yours to just have a little bit more curl to it, hold it in place and take your template and just give it a little bit more of a curl that it maybe didn't have to start with, or maybe it got a little bit moved when you're holding it. That is totally fine to do so. And with our last petal here, same thing. With the petal turned inwards, it's going to go around the side and the outward dip just layered with the other one. So you can see it creates this curve here. With these remaining petals on the side, I'm just going to simply apply some glue and wrap it around the styrofoam ball here. So it just goes all the way around and creates that rippled effect. Let's get some glue there. And these will just stay outwards. We'll move these strings that hot glue tends to get. It's helpful if you have a glue gun like this one that is a fine tips. It does get some glue on it like hot glue normally does, but the fine tip makes it a lot easier to work with since sometimes the hot glue can be a little bit sticky. After we have those on the side here, we're going to start applying our medium petals and our large petals, and we do this the exact same way for both medium and large. We apply the glue instead of the little scoop there, it's more the base. And we're going to apply it right over the top here where we created that little rosebud in the middle. Just like so. And it looks, you can't quite see the shape of the rose yet, but I promise, just trust the process. It will start to form as we begin going around. Down at the bottom of the petal here, just overlapping that first petal and holding it into place. And we'll just continue going around, overlapping these medium petals. So as you can see with your medium petals just overlapping around the small ones that we placed, it begins to form the center of a rose. With our large petals, after you have applied the medium ones, we are still going to apply them the exact same way where we're taking it at the base here with the glue. And we will apply them directly over the medium ones, but we want to apply it just slightly under the medium petals and apply it more onto the stem base here. These are gonna go more downwards to create the rose effect, and we'll just continue overlapping them over the medium petals. So once you have applied your large petals over here, we're going to apply some glue in places where you feel like it needs to be just a little bit more secure. So that way they stay in the shape that you'd like them to, nice and tight. If you'd like your rose a little bit more blossoming, you can leave them a little bit wider. But for this one, I'm going to just squish them in a little bit. And these are super flexible, this material. So you can go in again and recurl any pieces that you'd like to. Maybe you want to just reshape a few. It's really fun to play around with. It just has some great flexibility, and it just creates this beautiful rose that just looks lovely and will stay nice and firm. Now we will make our chrysanthemum flowers here. It's this beautiful rust color. And this is going to be with the strips that we cut out originally. You will need one 4x8 piece of crepe paper, one 3x8, and one 2x8. And once you have those cut into your strips, you again will take the crepe paper and look at just how much that stretches. We want to stretch this one out as much as we can to give it some length. Once you have it all stretched, it's the same process for each of these strips here, just a little bit of different sizes. But then you take your scissors, and for this larger one here, we're going to cut about every 1/2 inch, leaving about another 1/2 inch at the bottom. So every 1/2 inch across, leaving a 1/2 inch at the bottom. And we will continue doing this all the way down. Now, once you have all of these strips cut like so, for your other 2 strips, you're going to cut it the exact same way, but you're going to cut every 1/4 of an inch strips and leave about a 1/4 of an inch at the bottom. This is just your larger strip. Once you have these all cut, we then take one of these strips and about the middle of it here, we're going to just simply twist once and lay it flat, leaving about a 1/2 inch or so, a little bit less at the bottom. I'll show again. You just twist the middle and fold it downwards. One more time, twist the middle and just place it downwards. You're going to continue this process all the way down until you have a strip that looks just like this one here. Again, same process with your smaller strip and the other one after that as well. Then you take each piece that you folded downwards and we're just going to apply glue, a small dot with this fine tip glue gun, and just press it down so it stays in place. Just like so, and it begins to create the chrysanthemum petal. That is just very simple to do. It creates many petals, but it's a very easy way to do so. We're not gluing or cutting out and gluing every single petal onto the base there. It's a little bit of an easier way to create many petals all at once. So we just continue applying glue all the way down. I just love the color of this crepe paper. This color just really encompasses fall. It's one of my favorite colors. And we will just continue applying a very small dot of glue downwards. Once you have all of them folded downwards, again, you repeat the process with your medium strip and your small one here, and this is going to create many petals. We then take our thicker wire stem again, and with, scissors, wire cutters, we're going to take it and create just this loop shape at the top of our floral wire stem, and this is going to create a base to apply our petals. Once we have this base here, we will take this bottom part of our strip that we left at the end here, and we will apply glue. And then we just simply begin wrapping this strip around the base. And we just continue circling around, and we repeat that process, overlapping with our medium strip and overlapping with our large strip. So once you have applied those strips all the way around, make sure you apply a little dot of glue at the very end to make sure it is secure. And while this is holding in place, I like to kind of squeeze the base of it just to make sure that all of the layers fuse together a little bit, and make sure that the glue is a little bit dry before we then do the next step, so that way it doesn't pull apart, because we're then going to create the full shape of the chrysanthemum. And how we do that is we take, starting with our biggest layer here, our tallest layer, and we just fold the petals outward and begin just going around with each of them, folding them back to create this dimension that is the lovely chrysanthemum. You can make yours as full as you would like to. not as blooming, but this is just the general shape of the chrysanthemum. And like I said, wait until your glue is just a little bit cooler and that the layers are set in place. And there is our chrysanthemum flower, just like so. Once you are finished with your chrysanthemum, I'm going to show you how you make the leaves and also apply them to our flowers here once we have formed all of them. So you're going to cut out all your leaves in the very beginning, set them aside. We're going to gather our leaves. This is the same process with our green ones and our lovely purple ones here. And we're going to cut every leaf in half, just directly down the middle. And you can have an array of small leaves, medium leaves, large leaves. And with 4 of those leaves that are cut in half, we're going to apply it to each of the flowers here to create the little leaves that stick out from the bottom of the flower. So we will take 1/2 and apply glue just directly to the bottom and place it onto the bottom of this rose. As you can see, this rose is a little bit tighter than the previous one. It is your preference if you'd like it, you know, a little bit blossomed, grown a little bit fuller, or just nice and tight like this one. So then you just apply it to the base and repeat that process with the 4 small leaf petals here to just give it more of a realistic appearance. And it's just going to go directly around the base here, covering the bottom portion of this rose. You can just apply it directly onto there. If you'd like them going up a little bit higher, you can apply glue higher up on the leaf and just apply it right onto the rose itself. I like to do some, you know, right on the rose, some I like to do lower, just to give each one a little bit of character. And we'll do this last one here in this space. Just a little bit crooked onto the rose. We'll apply a little bit more glue for this one. And there you have it. Once you have all 4 of these applied, we'll set it aside and I will show you how we will create the leaves that go onto the stems. This is how you also attach the leaves onto the stems for the purple leaves. I created 3 of these. You will have enough crepe paper to create more if you would like, but this is the general way to create the leaves and attach them to the thicker wire stems. What we do is we take those halves that we cut in the beginning and we are going to, let me move this aside here so you can see better. Apply it to the edge of 1/2. Stick our floral wire stem onto that hot glue. And then with the other half, we're actually going to twist it, flip it over so now the bottom part is lined up with the top of the leaf, because what this is going to do is create different grain markings in the leaf to give it more dimension. So then you can cut around it to create a leaf shape that just has grain going different ways. Once you then have the leaf made, I like to just cut and leave about a 1/2 inch or so, and then go directly onto the rest of the wire here for the rest of our leaves. Once you have your leaves made, this is how you will attach it to the flower itself. I like to do, 2 to 3 leaves per flower. And how you do this is you take your floral tape, which is included in your kit as well. And to start out, we're going to place it just under the floral wire. Here is just below the leaves. Place a small amount of hot glue onto the bottom of the rose here, and you will just begin to wrap it around the floral wire stem, pinching the stem as you twirl it to adhere it to the stem itself, and it will just lay flat. When you get to the point of your stem where you would like to apply one of the leaves, what you do is you simply take one put it to the side of this floral wire stem and begin wrapping that small stem into the floral wire. This is going to stay in place all the way around the floral wire stem. So now that small stem is under here and being held directly in place, and it can then move any direction with this wire to create more of a realistic appearance. We'll continue downwards again, twisting the floral wire stem around the floral tape. And when you would like to apply another leaf, again, you place the smaller wire directly in your hand with the thicker stem here, right up against the tape, and twist the stem into the floral tape just how you were doing when you were going down the stem itself. And it will hold directly in place, and you keep going downwards until you've covered the entire stem. You cut your floral tape, or you can do it just where you'd like to stop with the leaves. If you'd like it all one color, you can go all the way down. And at the end, you apply a small amount of hot glue and twist it around the stem just to secure it in place, like we also did with some of our crepe paper flowers, just to hold that stem in extra sturdy. Now we have our two leaves that are tucked into the stems here that we can manipulate and make more realistic. Fold them a little bit to give them that nice shape, and you have your nice leaf shape on your floral elements here. So we have our leaves, the roses, the chrysanthemum, that's all creating just a lovely fall bouquet. It looks like there's a lot of different flowers in here, but it's really just two with these beautiful colors that just gives it this fullness, and all of the colors are truly lovely. This is going to be such a simple and easy project for you that I know that you will love this crepe paper. It is so fun to work with. It's become my favorite material. So thank you for joining me today. We will see you next video. In the meantime, make sure that you subscribe to our Shabby Fabrics YouTube main channel, and also follow along Shabby Fabrics at Home on our Instagram @HomeWithShabby, and also our Pinterest that is @HomeWithShabby as well. Thank you.